All right, man. Welcome back. Welcome back to the road trip. Kingdom Builders. Right? Look at that. Kingdom Builders, road trippers, Akeem and Akatim, brothers and sisters, plural, aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, everybody in the house, man, in-laws, shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to each and every single one of you, your homes, your dwelling places, right, where you stay at, your living spots, your jobs, all that stuff that means so much to you in your life, Mishpachah, your loved ones, your friends, your children, and your pets, man, the little fur babies, man, little fur nagas, that's right. Little fur nagas, and we love them all. Welcome back to the road trip. I'm just being jovial right now in this Shabbat afternoon. Hallelujah, right? Hallelujah, man. All praises of the Most High. Abana Yahweh, who Yahweh, Yahweh the Father, man. It feels great. Yes, yes. Guess what? You are loved. You are loved. You are cherished, right? You're part of this family. Yes, you are. And if you're not the bloodline, well, guess what? You're still one of our beloved friends. You are loved. Okay? And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful eternity that we're all going to share together. Do you know that? Oh, hallelujah. Well, check this out. Before we get too deep into this, we're about to start reading again. You know that. And dipping in. Ooh, yeah. All right. Bathe in water. Bathe in water. Bathe in fire. We don't got that right now, but it's all good. Check this out. Coming up pretty soon, we're gonna do a language lesson. A language lesson talking about the grammar or the phonetics, right? Your phonetics. Right, that's right. Everybody loves to hear the beautiful dialects of the Yahudim, right? The Yahudim, meaning right with the Jews, plural Yahudim with the I-M, right? What would be singular? It would be a Yahudi, a Yahudi, right? But we're not going to get into that. We have a whole lesson that's going to be planned and plotted out for the edification of the nation. Edification of the nation. Ooh, that sounded good, didn't it? Yes. Edification of the nation. All right, man. With some dialect and some talking about some of the words that we use here on the channel. And some of the words that you're going to start hearing much more frequently around the nation, right? People talking. Right? This is the age of information, and being ignorant is literally a choice. Keep that in mind, okay? So we're already dipped in, we're bathed in water, bathed in fire, but that's not the focus of this read right here, okay? I was just giving you a little preview of what might be coming up. Right now, we're going to be reading chapter 12. We're back here in the works of Flavius Josephus, my boy. Yeah. He came from the one of the earlier centuries, right? Talking from a third-party perspective of around 73 AD, talking about what happened, but he wasn't quite there yet, right? He was in between. So some of his works are exaggerated, and when they are, I'll let you know, right? And we can always refer back to the canonicals, right? And then some of the other extra canonicals, the deuterocanonicals, right? And just to fact check this, right? Because he's saying some things that are a lot of truth, but some things are exaggerated, right? Like time. He's not really good with time and numbers. He's pretty horrible, actually, with time and numbers. He's pretty far off. But it doesn't matter because he's talking about the events that were given to him, which are a lot more fresh than what we got, right? So we're going to be jumping into the works of Flavius Josephus, right? And if you want to know more about him, go back a couple chapters or maybe a playlist or two ago. And you can find out about the life of him before you can find out about what he did and why he's even important, right? Give him some credit, it gives him credibility to even be writing these works, right? Because he was more than just a historian, right? He was almost like a third-party first eyewitness, all right? Does that make sense? So we're in the Jewish Antiquities, or the Antiquities of the, what would you say if you said the Jews, plural? It would be the Yahudim. There you go. See? The Antiquities of the Yahudim. Chapter 12, concerning Abimelech, and concerning Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and concerning the Arabians who were his posterity. All right? So if you have these scrolls available to you, please pull them out so we can go ahead and read along together, family. And Mishpachah, because we already know that in etymology, the word family translates over into either a captive or a slave. And so we try to use that sparingly. But, in English, we still say fam. All right, right? So it's all right, family. Like, we're going to say what we say. We still have our own dialect. We have our own culture. So we can't completely just swap it all out, but we understand what words mean. Every word has a meaning, and every word has a vibration. Those vibrations are received and sent through us, right? We're transmitters and receivers. Basically, we're just like big radios, all right? So anyway, no further ado, enough of my nerd talk. Let's get ready to read chapter 12, the Antiquities of the Yahudim. All right, family and friends, let's begin. All right, let's go. All right. Chapter 12, concerning Abimelech and concerning Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and concerning the Arabians, who were his posterity. All right, section 1, and it reads, Abraham now removed to Gerar of Palestine, leading Sarah along with him under the notion of his sister using the subterfuge that he had used before, and that out of fear, for he was afraid of Abimelech, the king of the country, who did also himself fall in love with Sarah, and was disposed to have a sexual relationship. Her. But he was restrained from satisfying his lust by a dangerous sickness which befell him from Yahweh. Now when his physicians despaired of curing him, he fell asleep and saw a dream warning him not to molest the stranger's wife. And when he recovered, he told his friends that Yahweh had inflicted that disease upon him by way of punishment for his injury to the stranger, and in order to preserve the chastity of his wife, for that she did not accompany him as his sister, but as his legitimate wife, and that Yahweh had promised to be gracious to him for the time to come, if this person be once secure of his wife's chastity. Right? When he had said this, by the advice of his friends, he sent for Abraham and directed him not to be concerned about his wife or fear the corruption of her chastity, for that Yahweh took care of him, and that it was by his providence that he received his wife again without her suffering any abuse. And he appealed to Yahweh and to his wife's conscience, and said that he would not have had any inclination at first to take advantage of her if he had known she was his wife. But since he said, "You led her about as your sister," I was guilty of no offense. He also entreated him to be at peace with him, and to make Yahweh favorable to him, and that if he thought fit to continue with him, he should have what he wanted in abundance, but that if he designed to go away, he should be honorably conducted, and have whatever supply he wanted when he came there. Upon his saying this, Abraham told him that his pretense of family to his wife was no lie, because she was his brother's daughter, and that he did not think himself safe in his travels abroad without his such of subterfuge, right? So his subterfuge, not a lie, but a misleading, okay? A subterfuge, okay? And that he was not the cause of his sickness, but was only concerned for his own safety. He said also that he was ready to stay with him, whereupon Abimelech assigned him land and money, and they covenanted to live together without guile, and took an oath at a certain well called Beersheba, which may be interpreted the well of the oath, and so it is named by the people of the country unto this day. That's the end of section 1. Hallelujah. Section 2, and it reads, Now in a little time Abraham had a son by Sarah, as Yahweh had foretold to him, whom is named Isaac. He named Isaac, which signifies laughter. And indeed they so called him, because Sarah laughed when Yahweh said that she should bear a son. She, not expecting such a thing, as being past the age of childbearing, for she was 90 years old, and Abraham 100. So that the son was born to both of them, in the last year of each of those decimal numbers. and they circumcised him upon the 8th day. And from that time the Yahudim continued the custom of circumcising their sons within the number of days, right? But as for the Arabians, they circumcised after the 13th year, because Ishmael, the founder of their nation, who was born to Abraham of the concubine, was circumcised at that age, concerning whom I will presently give a particular account with great exactness. All right, that's the end of section 2. You see that? The Yahudim babies, right? The Yahudim babies, them Hebrew babies, man, they gotta shed that foreskin at 8 days, and that's law. All right. And that doesn't change, right? But we'll talk about things later, when Paul said, neither circumcision or uncircumcised, right? When it comes down to the mission. Well, we're going to get into the New Testament later, but let's continue this because there's a point, all right? Let's go ahead. Let's get some more. All right, section 3. As for Sarah, she at first loved Ishmael, who was born of her own handmaid Hagar, with an affection not inferior to that of her own son. For he was brought up in order to succeed in that government. But when she herself had borne Isaac, she was not willing that Ishmael should be brought up with him, as being too old for him, and able to do him injuries when their father died. She therefore persuaded Abraham to send him and his mother to some distant country. Now at the first he did not agree to what Sarah was so zealous for, and thought it an instance of the greatest barbarity to send away his young child, and a woman unprovided of necessities. But at length he agreed to it, because Yahweh was pleased with what Sarah had determined. So he delivered Ishmael to his mother, as not yet able to go by himself, and commanded her to take a bottle of water and a loaf of bread, and so to depart, and to take necessity for her guide. But as soon as her necessary provisions failed, she found herself in a desperate situation, and when the water was almost spent, she laid the young child, who was ready to expire, under a fig tree, and went on further, that he might die while she was absent. Salake. She didn't want to see her baby die. All right. It's actually kind of a sad situation. All right. Salake for the hiccups there. A little stutter. All right. Warming up. All right. Let's continue. But a divine angel came to her and told her of the fountain nearby, and directed her to take care and bring up the child, because she should be very happy by the preservation of Ishmael. Right. She then took courage upon the prospect of what was promised her, and meeting with some shepherds, by their care she got clear of the distress she had been in. So she got some water, she got some food, and she got some shelter. All right, that's the end of section 3. We know this, we read this before. It's just adding a third person perspective, which is kind of good. It's interesting. It's well rounded. All right. Section 4, and it reads, when the lad was grown up, he married a wife by birth, an Egyptian, right, from Mizraim. From thus the mother was herself derived originally. Of this wife were born to Ishmael 12 sons. Nebaioth, Kedar, Abdiel, Mibsam, Duma, Mishma, Masa, Hadad, Tima, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These inhabited all the countries from Euphrates to the Red Sea, and called it Nabateen. These are the Arabian nation, and name of their tribes from these, both because of their own virtue and because of the dignity of Abraham their father. See, now those are the nations that we would call the Muslim nations, right? The Arab nations, the United Arab the Emirates, right? That's what we would call them. And I'm going to read those names again. These are the names of those people that you see over there with the turbans, and I'm just being honest. Nebaioth, Kedar, Abdil, Mibsam, Duma, Mishma, Masa, Hadad, Tima, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. Those are them. All right. That's the end of chapter 12, and we're going to read the notes real quick, all right? Hallelujah. Yeah, and we'll say Selah. Yeah, boy. All right, let's get some notes in this, all right? The first point, and it reads, it is well worth observation that Josephus here calls that principal angel who appeared to Abraham and foretold the birth of Isaac directly Yahweh, which language of Josephus here prepares us to believe those other expressions of his, that Yahweh was a wise man. If it be lawful to call him a man, reference Antiquities, that would be 18, 3 and 3. And of Elohia, Yahweh the word, in his homily, right, concerning Hades, may be both genuine, nor is the other expression of divine angel used presently and before also of any other signification, right? That's the end of point 1. Cool. Yeah. All right, and point 2, and we're going to finish up. I don't think we're going to put 13 with this because, you know, we have time. Why are we rushing? Yeah, we'll put 14 and 15 together with 16, but we're not going to put anything with 12. All right, cool. So point number 2, Josephus here calls Ishmael a young child or infant, though he was about 13 years of age, as Judas calls himself and his brothers young men when he was 47 and had 2 children, reference Antiquities 2:6-8. And they were of much the same age as is a damsel of 12 years old called a little child. Reference Mark 5:39-42. Several times. Herod is also said by Josephus to be a very young man at 25. See the note of Antiquities, that is what, let's see, what is that? 14, 9, and 2. I'm reading Roman numerals, sorry. And Jewish War, 1 and 10. And Aristobulus is styled a very young child at age 16. Antiquities, what is that? 15, 2.6-7. Domitian also is called by him a very young child when he was on his German expedition at about age of 18 years of age. Jewish War 7:4-2. Samson's wife and Ruth, when they were widows, are called children. Antiquities 5, 6, 8 and 6, and 9, 2-3. That's the end of that one. All right. Hallelujah, Selah. Cool. And we'll pick up on the next reading, chapter 13, concerning Isaac, the legitimate son of Abraham. All right. So in the meantime, though, y'all please be safe out there on the road trippers, as you're driving to and fro. Be safe. Kingdom builders, I love each and every single one of you, man. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to your homes, your dwelling places where you stay at, your loved ones, your friends, your children, and your pets, or all that good stuff that you need in your life, Mishpachah and friends. All right, I love you. And until we read again, until we speak again, you know the drill. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and my love and my respect to you. I'll see you all really, really very soon. I love you. Yeah.